Artichoke. Alright. Say hello. Hello, hello, hello. Trace be well, 4 people. Have you ever wanted to create a world of your own, with your own set of rules, inhabited by your own creations? Believe it or not, it's actually possible with a little bit of skill in video game development. I've been developing video games since I was about 12, 13 years old, and while they're not as pristine as professionally developed video games, they still use the same processes to create them. Of the countless processes of video game development, I'm only going to be talking about the 3 main ones, those being level design, character development, and programming. First and foremost, we'll talk about level design, and while it's generally one of the last steps in video game design, I want to talk about it first because it's one of the most important steps in video game design. So what is a level? A level is essentially your world, and level design is obviously the process of creating that world. According to T. Dunaway, a video game journalist, level design is a synthesis of art, design, and the other aspects of development coming together. In the early days, game developers would have to write thousands of lines of code just to create one of the simplest levels. Nowadays, you have programs that do that for you. You can create what used to take months in a matter of hours. Before you know it, you have one of the most beautiful, realistic-looking landscapes you've ever seen in your life. Of course, level design is not completely about just the graphics and the appearance. It's about structure placement, lighting, color scheme. Do you want your world to be open or set on a linear path? As M. Masters, a video game developer, said, level design is vital to establishing a story and keeping the players engaged. Bad level design can ruin a game no matter how flashy the graphics look or how pristine the models are. All in all, poor design equals no one will enjoy playing your game. Though it may sound hard, level design is usually one of the easiest processes of game design. And you can gain skills from it that help with a lot more than just developing these video games, such as feng shui or something as complicated as architecture or landscaping. Now that we talked about level design, we're going to move into character development. Character development is the process of which you create your characters, or the inhabitants of your world. Creating a character in a video game is roughly the same as creating a character in a book. You come up with their name, their appearance, their ambitions. The main difference is you can actually see your character in the video game. It's not just in your imagination. But how do you get to where you can see this character? Well, according to KCTS, artists draw sketches and redraw them until they're perfect, at which point they're put into a program that can be made into a 3D representation. These are called models. At this point, these models can be put into your world. As with level design, character development can help with a lot more other than just video games. It can help you with writing, acting, and even sculpting. Now that we've talked about level design and character development, we're going to talk about what most people would consider the hardest part of video game design, and that's programming. Programming is using code or computer language to have your characters and your levels act the way you want them to. This is where you get to play God. You can reenact the first steps of your firstborn child, or make a volcano erupt cotton candy. According to Microsoft, computers are actually dumb. They're just a series of switches set to either on or off. And by manipulating the sequence of these switches, you can get the computer, or in this case video game, to act the way you want it to. That's programming. While it may sound hard, it actually is. It takes years to master, and depending on your ability to learn new languages, it could take just years to learn. But it's worth it. As with every other aspect of video game development, programming can help you in so much more than just game design, such as the screen you're looking at right now. What's lighting it up? It's obviously light, but programming is what tells those lights when to be off or on, or what color they should be. Programming tells a parking meter how much money you just put into it, and how much time it should give you. Programming actually keeps you safe on the road by operating your streetlights to keep you from crashing into one another. In conclusion, of the countless steps of video game design, the 3 main ones, level design, character development, and programming, tend to carry the most weight. And while they may not be simple to learn, neither was riding a bike at first, remember? With enough practice, before you know it, you could be creating vast landscapes and worlds, creating beautiful people and animals, even giving an elephant the ability to fly. Ugh.